Hey, what's happening, guys? My name is Jeremy, the Fishing Lone Star. This is going to be a new video format that I'm bringing to you this week, just to give you a breakdown of how I caught fish, where I was fishing, etc., in a much faster, quicker way than what I'm normally doing. Right now, I normally wait to just show you that information when I give you the on-the-water edited video. That obviously takes longer to do, so I'm going to try each week to give you a quicker update. We'll call it the Texas Fishing Weekly Update or Texas Weekly Update. Not really sure what we're gonna call it, but an update that'll come to you quicker in the week, maybe on Sundays or Mondays. It's coming to you Tuesday this week. I'll make that faster, so you get more of a conversation, dialogue with us of what's happening on the water just recently and how we caught fish. So let me give you the breakdown of this past weekend. This video is brought to you by Texas Shills Outdoors. Make sure you check out your Shills store. I'll tell you, the one in the Colony is legit and is loaded. I'm telling you guys, their fishing department's loaded. So be sure to check them out for all your fishing supplies or visit them on shills.com. But let me give you a breakdown of what this weekend was about and how we caught fish. All right, so I was fishing with Chef Bad Bass. So we'll just call him Chef. But I was fishing with Chef, and we went to a public lake in North Texas, just south of the Oklahoma border. It's about a 350-acre lake, so a smaller lake. Again, it's public, but a lot of grass, a lot of reeds, a lot of hydrilla, and a lot of lily pads. Now, the lily pads obviously were dying off because this was one of the last days of November. It's December 1st today that you're watching this, but it's one of the last days of November, and so the lily pads are dying because of the colder weather, but they're still prevalent and they're still there and they're still at the top of the water. And looking online at the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, they had stated this particular lake has a lot of bluegill forage and a lot of June bug worms, a lot of swim baits, black and blue, etc., had been working really well there. So with that in mind, and this isn't necessarily a plug, but I will say Monster Bass had just sent in the November box the Gill Color Swim Bait by Big Bite Baits. All right, now you guys know that I love X Zone lures and the Slammer, but I wanted to give this one a try, and the color was fitting. I mean, it was a gill color, and where I was fishing stated that they have a lot of bluegills as the main forage. I was throwing that on a 5/0 screw lock EWG swim bait hook. I like the 5/0 because the hook sits further back in the bait, allows for a better hookup ratio. And a 1/4 ounce, okay? So that's what I was throwing, and that was my bait selection, and the reason why is because of bluegill being the main forage. We weren't quite sure, though, if the bass would be deeper or more shallow, so we started the morning looking around the dam, which was around 14 to 15 feet of water. We did see fish there, but they were stacked up, not linear out, so we didn't think they were bass. We did not spend a whole lot of time on those fish. We then quickly moved around to some reeds, and Chef caught the first fish on the morning on a black and blue jig. So I had tied one on by the end of the day, very similar to that, black and blue jig, muscleback crawl trailer. I like it because the claws stand up and float. It looks very real, comes to life in the water. But he caught his on a black and blue jig, told us that the fish were up shallow. As the day progressed, Chef made the comment that we should fish around the lily pads and around the stems and see if there was bass around those areas. And just as the sun came up, I think that's when these colors in this swim bait, you can see all those kind of sparkles and flakes, really came to life. And we started catching them on that swim bait. I think I caught 4 or 5 total. Chef caught a couple. And then he continued to get bites pitching up against the reeds with that black and blue jig. Now the water temp, air temp, water temp, I'll give you this scenario. The water temp around the dam was about 57 degrees. The water temp, a little bit more shallow water, was about 55 degrees. The bass were still very active at that particular time. This was 2 days ago. Now, fast forward, though, actually, let me stay on that day real quick before I get to this week. That particular day as well, we had 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds, and it was about 50 to 55 degrees was the high that day. So pretty chilly, I'm not gonna lie, it was a cold day on the water. I had thrown a spinnerbait a lot. I thought with the wind and kind of the cloud and sun intermittently coming out that the spinnerbait would be good in a bluegill color. Did not catch any on that at all. Didn't even get a bite. Every single fish came on that Big Bite Baits Finesse Swimmer. It's a 4.4 inch swim bait. They also make a 3.4 inch size, but the 4.4 inch is what came on Monster Bass box, and that's what I use to catch those fish. Now, since then, just last night, This is Tuesday that you're watching this on December 1st. Just last night, the air temps got down into the, let's see, we were about 30 degrees overnight. So the water, and it's going to stay that way overnight for multiple nights in a row in the low 30s. So what happened last weekend, what's coming next weekend is going to be totally different. And it's probably different for you wherever you're watching this. Even if you're in Houston, I'm in Dallas, it's going to be different for you. But I'm going to give you a lot of these details in these videos each week so that when the time comes that the air temps are happening like this, or the types of days that are like this wherever you're at, you'll at least have reference of what was working that particular time. So that's why I'm going into so many details about air temp, water temp, wind, sun, etc. So you can kind of prepare and plan for that when it happens near you. So this particular weekend coming up next weekend, I will be actually fishing multiple days. I normally only fish about half a day to 1 day a weekend. I'm going to be fishing multiple days coming up. It's kind of a guy's trip. It's going to be cold, but we're going to fish a power plant lake. And I've never done it before, but in East Texas, we're out to a power plant lake. And what I'm going to use, and I believe is going to work best, is that 4-inch X-Zone slammer and that pearl silver flake color. So I plan on using that particular swim bait. I will throw it again on that 5/0 hook. I may throw it on an underspin. I'm going to try a spinner bait. We're probably going to throw crankbaits. We're going to throw a lot of moving baits because the water temp in a power plant lake is going to be much higher in terms of warmer. I think it'll be probably in the high 60s, low 70s. Not really sure because I've never been, but we're going to do that one day. Another day, we're going to go to a private lake, but it's not a power plant lake, so it's going to be cold water. There's a lot of cover and structure there, so I'm going to keep that black and blue jig tied on, and we're going to drag it around, work slow. I think the water temps are going to be in the low 50s by the time this weekend comes, if not even upper. I don't know if it'll be in the upper 40s. It'll probably be low 50s. So that black and blue jig may come into play. And then not really sure where we're going to go the third day. We may go back to the power plant lake, or may go back to where I was fishing this weekend. So comment below. Let me know if this video helps. Let me know if you like the new format of getting the content to you quicker from when I was fishing, just to share with you what was working. I will then have another video that will be posted of the time on the water, so you can actually see, the retrieval of the baits, how we were using them, where we were working them, and you can see the actual fish we caught. So look for that video to come a little bit later in the week, maybe the next day or two, fishing with Chef. And like I said, go give him a follow. But let me know if you like the new format. Let me know if this helps, and I will continue to try to do this for you in a much quicker way so you can hear what was working on the water and maybe replicate that yourself. We'd love for you to also comment below, tell me what was working for you and where you're at, so we can help learn from each other. But anyways, hope this is helpful. Please subscribe if you're not. I'm going to do these weekly to give you some fishing reports. Going into the winter, it's going to be probably some hit or miss, not going to lie. But we're going to be coming up into spring soon, and I think that's when it's going to start really, really popping again. Although there's some big fish to be caught right now in the winter. So let me know how you like this video content in this format. And you know the drill. If nobody's told you today, God loves you, and so do I. Peace out.